everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently watched Dot Hack Slash, the movie Beyond the World, and this actually takes a lot of cues from the show. This was done in 2012, and it mixes three-dimensional animation and 2D animation, and you wouldn't think that the two would mesh very well, but the way that it's comprised and composed, it has a lot of elements that are very reminiscent of GITS and Parasite Eve and Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, just by background music alone. And the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking, this is almost a carbon copy of what happened in Parasite Eve, if you've ever played the game. And that was actually one of my favorite games. I usually don't do horror games, but that was the ultimate game. And the second one, the controls were really clunky and just hard to maneuver, and it was it really irritated me. And if there were any chance for a game series to be done again, I would say Parasite Eve, definitely. I have yet to see the movie version of it, and I really want to at some point in time, being such a huge fan. But I really like the story. We've got Sora. She starts out not really wanting to get involved with the world and everything that encompasses it. That then her friends, Tanaka and her girlfriends, they pull her into it, and she falls in love with it. And of course, there's a bit of a love story too. I'm not going to go into that, but what's so funny is her grandfather, she doesn't know this at the time, but her grandfather has been involved in the world, and we get to see his avatar and all that. But it's a very intriguing, mysterious story, and it involves the seed. And of course, with the ending, you think there's going to be a sequel. I don't know if there's a sequel, but it's... How many hack slash movies were there? I don't know, because I remember the series coming out during high school, actually not high school, but college, and I delved head first into it due to the fact that I've always loved MMORPGs, even though I don't have the capacity to play them, and I've always been a big fan of that kind of genre. Even though it's not my best, I like the challenge of it. I love the message of the movie itself was tremendous, I thought. And there was a lot to be said about that. Animation was absolutely gorgeous, and of course the rendering of the different scenes in the world in and of itself, when she goes into it with her virtual glasses, you think, I want to play this game. I wish this game were reality. And I'm sure that we're getting that with Oculus. This has become, well, it's with the version they have in 2025, this is a futuristic kind of anime, but at some point in time, I think we'll have Google glasses, so I think that we're going to come to a point in time where our virtual reality is wearable. And hopefully it won't become like one of the stories that I wrote. I wrote this cautionary tale, and this was a cautionary tale too, I think. But yeah, there was a lot of mystery involved with that, and you have... this Bureau of Investigation from America in Washington, D.C., they're alerted to the fact that something very wrong is happening in the world, and I'm not going to say what, but you probably already can guess what it is without me going into detail, and I've probably already spoiled it for those of you who are very astute. But I hate to say this, I really do, and Tanaka, the name of my spirit guide too, oddly enough, but I adore Tanaka. He's so awkward and shy, but in the virtual realm, he's not. He's completely at ease and relaxed and able to be one with himself. How very zen, right? But in the real world, he finds it difficult to communicate his feelings toward Yuki. I noticed that there was a reference to Ghost in the Shell with Makoto, because she has this little pet. It's sort of like Siri or Alexa or OK Google, in the fact that it can respond to your questions, and it's it can activate. It sort of has its own sentience, which kind of disturbed me in a way. I thought, I mean, I like technology. Don't get me wrong. I'm a futurist as much as other futurists are. However, I don't think leaning on technology is a good idea. And of course, we've seen this covered time and time again through such movies as this one. But it actually shows a better side of humanity, I think. And I won't say why, because if I do, plot point will be completely pointless. But if you are a fan of the series and grew up with it like I did, and this is just something that came as a bonus, because I had been getting my DVDs from Malaysia. A lot of them play very well, but this one, God forgive me, the only nag I have is the subtitling for this particular film was just cringeworthy. It was absolutely horrendous, and I thought, do I have to do autocorrect spell check with this stupid subtitling? Because usually I like subtitling. I can read very quickly, so it's no big deal. I understand. I just think if only I could speak Japanese so well as I could understand it. I mean, I understand what they're saying. If they speak slowly, yeah, I get it. The conversational stuff, I understand. It's just I cannot communicate. It is so irritating to me, but I would love, because I remember one time my friend took me to House of Tokyo, and I came in, and of course I said, "Domo arigato," and he's like, "Where did you learn?" I said, "Anime." He's like, "Oh." I said, "You'll have to excuse me, but my Japanese is not that great." He said, "Oh, your pronunciation is top notch." I mean, he was really, really surprised with how well I pronounce things, and I try to be authentic. So it was so funny. It was so cute. It just how he lit up. I thought, I made his day. I made him happy, and I love doing that. I love going to restaurants if I know a little bit of the language. And I remember my very scant Mandarin that I know, which is very, very little, but I remember I went to Chinese restaurant, and these people became family, but you know, they're off in where are they now? Arizona? Wait, they're not in Arizona. It's Albuquerque. Albuquerque's in the middle of nowheresville, but yeah, the main proprietor slash business owner of my favorite Chinese restaurant, Szechuan Cooking, by the way. She left, but I came in, and you know, I would say you know, hello, and I also did that over at the other Chinese restaurant, and I say ni hao ma, and it's like, how? that's it. I mean, I don't really know that much else other than thank you and you're welcome, and you know, the word for wind and I love you, and that's my extent of Mandarin, sad to say. Oh, lordy lord. It's just a very challenging language. There's no cognates, so you just have to learn by rote and try to integrate it. But I think the more I watch, the more I learn. But anyway, it's the whole idea of identity, I thought, was very fascinating concept for them to explore in the aspect of the film in and of itself, of reality versus virtual reality. And Grandpa, the thing that really cracked me up were Grandpa's avatar and the woman that he was courting, the grandma's avatar, what they looked like in the virtual world versus reality, and that they were going out at the very end. They go out for takoyaki, and it was just, oh, made me happy. I'm sorry, I'm such a nerd sometimes, but I like stuff like that. I like to see people getting together and being joyful. because I think that's the actual pursuit of what life really is. Maybe that's just my version of what I think life should be. And you shouldn't have to, but you should not have to venture out into an MMORPG. Well, sometimes the unexpected happens, and it can happen in ways we least expect. That's why love is so enigmatic. But I can say I really enjoyed the animation, and stick around to the end because the ending definitely opens it up for a sequel. But that's basically all I have to say about Dot Hack / the movie Beyond the World. Until next time, live long, prosper. Ciao, Tootsie.